Well, Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 45th president of the U.S. in just a few short weeks. So how will the new administration impact your finances and your retirement? Here to answer that and other questions today, we have Ohio's retirement coach, Greg Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. Hi, Greg.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. You know, I think everybody asks this whenever a new administration is coming in. You always want to know, how is it going to impact you?
Yes.
So that is what we're going to focus on today.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of changes going on, some things, different focus. It's very interesting. He chose as Secretary of State, former Exxon CEO. So talking about global economy and even energy. That's, I think that's very interesting that he chose him. Due to that energy, OPEC just raised oil prices some, which should be a help to the frackers here in Ohio. Getting those oil prices up a little bit help the economy here in Ohio and help that oil production and some of the smaller guys, so to speak, to be able to make a profit in that area, even though we don't necessarily like that at the gas pump. However, the Trump presidency isn't going to be a fix-all, do-all. I don't think it mattered who got elected. We still got some challenges. We've got the enormous amount of debt.
Yeah.
We have an economic place right now that isn't really super solid. I think that's why we see interest rates so low right now. So it is very, very important to know what your risk is versus your average return. And I think a lot of people have no idea what that is. And regardless of what happens in the next 6 months to a year, people need to start focusing on how much risk they're taking.
Okay, so that's a big focus for your retirement. That's what you need to look ahead to.
Yes.
Okay, so the other question we're going to ask today, are there any end-of-year tax strategies that I should take advantage of before the new year, before all this change kind of happens?
There's something that we call tax loss harvesting. And simply, if you've lost some in some investments and now you're also worried about am I going to have some capital gains on some other things? Maybe it's time to go ahead and sell off those losers and put that against your winners to harvest that loss and actually reduce some of those taxes for the coming year.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, number 3 today, Greg. When am I required to begin taking required minimum distributions? We talk about those RMDs, they're called, from my 401k, and how much do I need to take out?
Well, it's interesting. If you're an IRA owner, you have to start taking it by the age 70 and a half. Or you can delay it till the following year, but then that year you have to take 2.
Okay.
If you're a 401k owner and you're retired, you have to take it by 70 and a half. However, if you're still working, you can delay taking your required distributions until you retire.
How much do you need to take? Does it depend?
Yeah, it is interesting because they don't just give you a flat percentage. That'd be too easy,
right? Yeah.
So instead, they use what's called a life expectancy table. So at age 70 and a half, they use a divider 24.7.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, 27.4. Okay, so at 27.4 at age 70 and a half, that's right about 3.65% that you have to take out. That divisor goes down every year, which means the percentage goes slightly up. By the time you're 79, you're taking about 5% out.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, number 4, if interest rates go up in 2017, which I imagine they can't really go down, we've kind of seen the low numbers for a while, how will that impact retirement accounts?
Well, those who are CD buyers are going to be very happy. The people that aren't really too keen on risk, they just want money in a nice, safe place, they'll be happy because that should bring CD rates up a little bit. For those who have been using bonds as their hedge against stock market risk, that's not going to bode so well because when interest rates rise, the value of bonds goes down. So if you're looking to bonds to hedge your risk, that could end up backfiring on you. So you have to be careful.
Okay. Greg, of course, I want to let people know if you have a question that you want Greg to answer, send him an email. It is questions@ohiosretirementcoach.com. As simple as that. He'd be glad to answer it right here on the show. And of course, he is not going away. Kristen is joining us next. The world's oldest person just celebrated a new milestone. Find out how old she is and the secret to her longevity next.